All right, everyone. So, Ready or Not has reached an impressive milestone on the Xbox and PlayStation. So, Void Interactive tweeted out this 3 million fans of Ready or Not on PlayStation and Xbox and continuing to grow across PC and console. The LSPD has grown to over 13 million officers responding. So, 3 million console copies sold. Now, I played this game way back when it first launched on the PC. We also did a video of it on the Xbox when it launched, and I love this game. It's one of those games, and we've mentioned it with a few different things here, but it's one of those games where it just knows what it is and it does what it needs to do really well. And certainly there's been some controversy, and we covered that with the changes they made to the PC version before consoles version launched. And I got all of that. I read a lot of the comments on that video, and people were they got it right. But I'm very happy that this thing did well because I do think this game is a type of game I want to see succeed. Because I think far too often with modern games, there's no real like, okay, this is the game we're trying to make. Let's just go out and make that great game. There's a lot of, well, we want to add this from this game and this from this game, and let's just, find a way to try to make it into a live service. And you just are building out something that by its launch, everybody's like, so what game am I playing here? Is this like a, what exactly am I playing? With Ready or Not, you know exactly what it is. I do think they need to fine tune a few things, and I haven't played in a few weeks, especially the console version. So there may have made some of these changes, but there's a few things that I would like to see changed on the consoles. Like I think the whole point of this game is kind of the co-op, and playing with your buddies. That's what I mean, when you're playing with your friends, it becomes like just this crazy, crazy experience, and yet you can't really progress through the campaign that way, for what I can see. Put in the comments if I'm wrong on that, but I tried and I looked and I couldn't find it. That's a problem, right? I mean, you have 3 million people playing it because people are like, "This is the type of game we want." It's as close to a there's not a better kind of sim that you could buy that's been released as early as this one for like being a member of a SWAT team. You think about all the different maps; they're all different to tackle. There's something there for everyone, and I think that adds so much. So allow us to kind of get through the campaign together. Don't make it so I have to play it solo and then I'm just playing with the campaign or co-op for just for fun. Like, let us go through the campaign together. And there's just so many little things that when you really get down into it, you really start playing through this game. There's so much replayability. The fact that you really do end up caring about the officers that you have out there, just because if you lose one, they have different abilities, and if you lose one, then now you kind of have to start fresh with a new person. The more you play it, the more you realize how much this game has, and that it all flows in the same direction. And this could change as they continue to update it, but so far, there's nothing I look at with this game where I go, you know what, that doesn't fit. That's kind of like a cash grab BS type deal. No, everything in this game really fits with it. It's like they understood you have to make these missions that feel like, when you first play this game, especially on some of these missions that really you can kind of like the whole thing that makes this awesome is not just the gunplay and the kind of sneaking around, but it's the feeling that you get while you're playing it. Like, you think, "Oh my god, I'm going into this bad area," of like, I'm going into this area where there's a lot of bad shit going on with a lot of bad guys, and I got to clear this thing out. And every door you open, there could be somebody behind that door, right? There could be something you have to do. And that's what makes the game awesome, right? That little aspect. And so I hope they continue. I'm happy that they got the 3 million console copies sold, because that means this game is just taking off like crazy. And I hope they continue to update it, because this is one of those things that can live on forever if you continue to update it and continue to fine tune and just listen to the community. Let the community um, do some really great things with it. And on the PC front, I have to agree with a lot of people who were making, comments in our video, because at the time I didn't know all of the little changes they made. Then I looked through the changes. I didn't think they were the end of the world, but kind of reading the comments, I could see the point being made by many of the players on as to why they didn't like the changes that were made, and they thought it was hurting the game. But look, really, in the consoles is one thing. The consoles, you give them that type of game, but for the PC players, I really think they should go all in on allowing, and I don't even know if is possible now because, like I said, I haven't played it in a little while, but allowing mods, all of these different things, because that keeps games like this going forever. I always bring up Call of Duty World at War, and now even Black Ops. I think it's 3 that I have where custom zombies that keeps these games alive forever. I was buying World at War years later for Steam. I have like 4 copies of it. I have a disc copy. I have actually I think 2 disc copies. I bought it twice on my Steam account and then someone I was playing with on their Steam account, we bought it as well because it just keeps the game alive when you allow the community to continue to build and build and build. And even though we love the console and I have it on both places. I have it on the console, I have it on Steam. You know, give PC players where this thing started, where this thing launched, give them something. Now that you've had all this success, right? Give them something to be like, look, we got it on PC and we could do all this awesome stuff with it. That's just the way I feel about it. But kudos to, uh, you know, Ready or Not, because I think the game deserves it. And I think this has been a great game from the jump. Hopefully, the controversy kind of subdued now and it's over and they're past it and they're not going to kind of step in it again. So thank you all for watching.